Hello there. In a statement of the bleedin obvious, Boris Johnson says that the Chequers proposal will make it a walk in the park for Brussels. The former Foreign Secretary, the Brexiteer Boris Johnson, has penned a piece for the Telegraph in which he says of Theresa May's Chequers-based Brexit proposals, "The fix is in. The whole thing is about as preordained as a bout between giant haystacks and Big Daddy. And in this case, I am afraid, the inevitable outcome is a victory for the EU, with the UK lying flat on the canvas with 12 stars circling symbolically over our semi-conscious head." And the first question for many younger people is, why is someone's dad fighting with a large bale of straw? Anyway, my response to Boris's comment would be, then why is Theresa May still in office? Why isn't she on her political back seeing stars? And then we all know the answer to that one, don't we? Because the Tory party is weak. Because she is a Remainer at heart and will win any Tory leadership vote of confidence thrown at her, because the majority of her colleagues are like-minded. And her place is secure as long as she keeps some sort of EU re-entry door open, like the nonsense that the Chequers proposal is. And far from trying to quell the open bickering in her party, Theresa May seems content to fuel it, as Downing Street wades in saying that Boris Johnson's article offers no new ideas. Downing Street has hit back at Boris Johnson over his criticism of Theresa May's approach to Brexit, saying she is providing serious leadership and a serious plan, says the BBC. Now to the economics of Brexit. Writing in The Independent, Jonathan Portes says that a no-deal Brexit may not cause a recession, but would damage UK prosperity in the long run. In his article, he points out that the pre-referendum forecasts of an immediate downturn in the UK economy should we even vote to leave the EU were far too pessimistic. The performance of the UK economy since the Brexit vote has been mediocre, but not disastrous, he writes. Growth has slowed, particularly relative to other advanced economies. On the other hand, the labour market has remained buoyant, with employment growth continuing on its pre-referendum track. And he also points out that some government responses to a no-deal Brexit could actually lead to a rise in GDP rather than a reduction. Apart from some short-term hiccups, his forecast seems less of a cliff edge and more of a gentle but permanent levelling off in the economic gains of the country. But for me it misses the whole point. Brexit will give the UK more opportunities to boost its own economy. No longer will it have to gain approval from an EU Commission that is more worried about the rest of the EU than the needs and prospects of its individual member states. The UK will be free to respond at its own speed and in its own way to economic opportunities and threats. This sort of opportunity benefit cannot be easily quantified. That is why it is so easy for the anti-Brexit campaigners to fearmonger in the hope that they can scare ordinary people into submission to the grand EU superstate plan. Because, be in no doubt, that is exactly what these Remainers want. For them the UK is anathema. They believe it has had its day and must be politically dismantled in the quest for a new Europe. And one of the biggest giveaways is the talk of the breakup of the UK should a no-deal Brexit come to pass. Isn't it strange that Remainers claim that a few decades of a European Union cannot be destroyed because of all the interlinking, but then in the same breath they claim the connections between the separate parts of the UK, some forged over centuries, can be gone in a blink. With no repercussions, the Remainers say, the people of the UK will instantly turn their backs on one another. The Irish border means we cannot have Brexit, they wail, while at the same moment they totally ignore the Scottish-English border and any problems that might arise should the UK break up after Brexit. And there would of course be some, or else their claims about the Irish border would have to be false, wouldn't they? Now, former Labour leader and PM Tony Blair says that he understands why Theresa May is offering the softest Brexit she can, as she is leading the country into something she does not believe in, he says. She is well-intentioned, said Blair, but she thinks we have to do Brexit, but also thinks it's a bad idea, so of course she'd go for the mildest form of Brexit available. It's totally sensible at one level, he said. The trouble is, in doing that, she's neither going to satisfy the people who really want Brexit, nor the people who think the whole thing's a bad idea. It looks like a clever compromise, but actually it's a compromise that is the worst of both worlds, that will satisfy nobody. Now, there's an old adage, you can fool some of the people all the time, or all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And I'm afraid to say that listening to Tony Blair speak, it's obvious that Theresa May is either going to fool nobody at all of the time, or all of the people for none of the time. Take your pick. Finally, for the fear. The latest post-Brexit scaremongering from the anti-Brexit press is that 1 million penguins in the Falkland Islands will be under threat. Work to protect more than 1 million penguins on the Falkland Islands may be put at risk if the territory loses out on conservation funding from the European Union after Brexit, its trade minister has warned, reports The Independent. But as the same article points out near the end, money is already being set aside to deal with such funding, making it a bit of a non-story for me. It's beyond me why the press can't just say, UK aiming to replace EU funding and give the money directly to UK projects instead of paying the EU twice as much to do the same thing. So, please let us all know what you think by leaving a comment below. Thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.